Okay, picking up where we left off. On this video, we're gonna go over properties and the the changes that we can make through them. The properties are not just for us to view what information that component has, but we actually we can edit. So going back to that, we have a properties right here. Okay, remember we opened that. Now let me open properties. You can dock it. You can close the properties right here if you don't want to see them. You want them again, click and go to properties. Right click, go to properties. Here it is. You can make some changes to it. See, anchor to the left, anchor to the right. If you want to see them on this side, right? If you want to, in my case, I want to put it anchor to the left. You can put it on the bottom and top. It's up to you. You can also um, auto hide. That means that if I have it without auto hide is going to stay there throughout, but it's going to limit my visibility a little bit on my screen. This is a matter of preference, or you can just make it uh, show and go to into auto hide. Transparency, you can change the transparency too. If you go 50%, notice that when you open it, you can see through it barely. I know. Wait a minute, that's not it. It was the other one. Transparency, rollover. There we go. Let's try this one. Oh, it doesn't let us. Okay. How about now? Yeah. Okay. I guess you have to do both. So notice now. See how it looks transparent. All right. So my case, I don't like it since I want for it to come on and out. I want to see what I'm looking at. So I'm gonna put transparency back to 100% or for it to be solid. But those are the changes you can make. Okay. You want to see them or not see them. You want to dock it to the left, right, bottom, top. It's up to you. But now let's go over the properties. Okay, so again, recapping properties, everything you draw, whatever component it might be, it has its own information. Okay, okay, and it will tell you here the information that it is just by clicking it. Notice that it's going to give me all that information. Now, some are going to have more information than others. This is a dimension style, so to create a dimension, there's a lot of uh, things that make up a dimension. You can see it here. You have lines and arrows, text, fit, primary units, alternate units. All those things take are inside or what makes a dimension. Okay, but we can change it. That's what I want to go over right now. That you can through the properties is not only to find out what it has, but to make changes with it. For example, if I come to that dimension to that they have selected, I want to change the layer. Now we have not gone over layers yet, or we're going over layers this week. So when I change the layer, I can change it to a different layer if I want to. Notice you can see on the right how it's changing. So it's changing to a different layer. Okay, or I can just change the color, leave it on the same layer, and change the color. Okay. Um, Line type scale, I'm going to go over that in a couple of weeks. The line weight, you can change it here. You can change the plot style. You can change the transparency. You can change the dimension style. Okay, we haven't gone over these, but notice how, look at this on the right side. Look over here. As I change the dimension style, how it becomes bigger or smaller. We're going to discuss that in a couple of weeks. Okay, you want to make it annotative, yes or no. You want to change your arrows. Right now they're ticks. You want to change those into, let's say, arrows. You can do that, and you can see here how it changed. Okay, so not only you're viewing, not only you're seeing or the information that it contains, but you can actually go in there and make changes. Okay, all right. So let's go back to the simple one. Oops, I guess I got rid of it. So let's put a P line right here, and let's put a circle right here. All right, so I went to another file. I did that. Notice it tells me that's a P line, and it gives you the information of the P line. All right, if I grab on the circle, if I open it, it tells me that's a circle. It gives me the information about the circle, where X, Y, and Z are, which is a coordinate system, where exactly where that is, where that point is given to me right here. X, Y, and Z. It's giving me the radius of the circle, it's giving me the diameter of the circle, it's giving me the circumference of the circle, and it's giving me the area of the circle. So all that good information you can just find by clicking on properties. So for example, we do a rectangle. If I click on it, it tells me that's a polyline, and it gives that information: X, Y, okay, the area, and the length all around. Okay, so all this good information you can find here, and also you can make some changes through it. For example, if we click on the circle, and let's say that circle shouldn't be 7.0109, let's say it has to be 7. I can just come in here, put 7, and it's gonna adapt automatically. Now you probably didn't see it because it's too small of a change, but if I put here 4, for example, I want the radius to be 4. See how it changed automatically right here? So you can also make changes through the properties. Okay, so you can find information, you can gather information on what you selected, but also you can make changes to it. Now, what happens when you select several things that they're different? For example, if I select the line and I select the dimension, if I go to properties, notice it tells me you're selecting 2, and it's limiting the information to the general. Color by layer is going to vary because I have 2 different layers here selected: wall and dimension. So whenever you select more things, not just one thing, you select several, and you go to notice I'm selecting 67 things, and it's very limited the information that it's going to give. Okay, so it's better to select one and then come and look at it and make changes. For example, let's say by mistake, you put the sink as layer millwork, right? And we haven't discussed this. Just think about it. So it needs to be plumbing layer. So you can grab it, come over here, go to layer, and then go look for the layer that you want. That will be 1. Okay, so we a plumbing. Where's a plumbing? Here it is. Okay, and I'm making the changes through the properties. Right now, I'm going to show you a different way of doing that, which is very similar to what we're covering right now. Okay, so that's properties. Gives you information about what you have drawn, and you can edit through the properties. Very helpful. Okay, now what else? There's a tool that I want to show you actually to go over to show you what you could have done here instead of just clicking it and going to properties. There's something that's called match properties, and this tool does exactly what the word says. It matches a property from one entity to another. So for example, this one is on the wrong layer, and this one is on the right layer. All right, so what I want to do, instead of just clicking here and going and changing the layer, what I'm going to do, I'm going to match the properties of this into this one. Okay, you're matching the properties. So that one, it's let me see. I use that one, but I hardly use it or press on it. So it should be somewhere over here. No. Is it an enter? No. Annotate. No. And I apologize, guys. I hardly use uh, the actual tools up here. Actually, all right, here it is. It was big. I can see it right here. Match properties. Okay, it's on the properties section of the uh, of the ribbon. Match properties. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on match properties. I'm going to click on the entity that I want to use as a reference. You click on that one first. Okay, so notice how it changes to like a little brush. So now whatever I selected is going to bring this properties into whatever other entity that I click. So if I click on the sink, notice that it changed it into it. So this is pretty cool. If you make a mistake, and for example, you put some walls, you did it wrong, you put it in an exterior layer. Oh, come on. Okay, let's say you made a mistake and you put it, let's say, on low on that layer right there, and you made a mistake. Okay, you don't have to click one by one and change it. What you can do is just go to match properties. This is, I need to change those. They need to be like these right here. So you click on that one for it to be a reference, and then just click on the rest. And it's changing the properties. You're not changing just the color, but the properties that that line has. Layer and color being one of them. Okay, so you can match properties if you need to. Okay, or if I have a line here, another line here, and this one you had it blue. Okay, you want that one to be blue, you can just match the properties. Grab this one, put it right there. Okay, so you can match the properties. All right, same thing with dimensions. If you have a dimension with a different, for example, dimension style, okay, and you want this one is not matching this one, you see it? So you just match properties, select the one you want to use a reference, and then click on the one you want to change. Notice that it doesn't change the number, it changes the properties of it, but not the length. Okay, so very, very useful tool. By the way, MA is a shortcut for match properties. Just MA, that's match properties command. Okay, so that's the what you can do with properties. It gives you information on whatever you have selected or you have drawn, very specific information about it, and you can edit through it. Okay, and you can also do match properties. Okay, on the next video, we're going to go over very briefly on line types because it's something you're going to need to do when we start doing the layers.